The day his life cracked open did not begin with tragedy, but with noise. 3 identical toddlers bolting down a hospital corridor like loose fireworks, their sneakers slapping tile, their laughter ricocheting off sterile walls, and a single exhausted father running after them with a diaper bag banging against his hip, and fear clawing up his throat. He was already late, already overwhelmed, already one mistake away from collapse, and then one wrong door changed everything. Some moments do not announce themselves as destiny. They arrive disguised as chaos, breathless and ordinary, and only later do you realize they were the beginning of a miracle. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, in the strange way life can heal itself through unexpected love, take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this survive because people choose to believe they matter. He had not planned to be a single father. No one ever does. A year earlier, he had been a husband with a future mapped out in grocery lists and bedtime routines shared between 2 adults. Then his wife had died suddenly, cruelly, leaving him alone with triplets who were too young to understand why their mother no longer came when they cried. Grief did not give him time to rest. It demanded he keep moving. Every morning was a test of endurance. Every night a quiet reckoning with exhaustion and guilt. He loved his children with a ferocity that scared him, but love did not refill energy or answer questions about the future. He lived on coffee, habit, and the desperate promise that if he just kept going, somehow it would get easier. That hospital visit was supposed to be simple. A routine pediatric checkup bundled into one impossible afternoon. He had rehearsed the plan in his head, how he would hold hands, count heads, smile through the stress. But toddlers are chaos made human, and triplets multiplied that chaos into something nearly cosmic. One slipped free, then another, then the third, and suddenly he was sprinting past nurses and visitors, apologizing breathlessly, heart hammering as fear sharpened every sound. He pushed open the first door he saw, praying they had run inside, and stepped into a room that felt like a different universe. The air was dimmer, heavier, filled with the slow rhythm of machines and the quiet gravity of waiting. His children froze, their laughter evaporating as if swallowed by the room itself. On the bed lay a woman who looked too young to be there, her skin pale, her body fragile under white sheets, her eyes open and watching the ceiling as if memorizing it. The wrongness of it all crashed over him at once. He gathered his children instinctively, murmuring apologies, shame burning his face, ready to retreat as quickly as he had arrived. But something stopped him. The woman had turned her head, and despite the tubes and the exhaustion etched into her features, she was smiling. That smile was not polite or startled. It was warm, genuine, almost grateful, as if the sudden intrusion of 3 small lives had cracked a window in a room suffocating with finality. He hesitated, unsure why his feet would not move. The children, sensing something different, edged closer, their curiosity overcoming fear. In that suspended moment, the hospital faded away. There was only a tired father, 3 confused toddlers, and a woman who looked at them as if they were a gift. He left that room eventually, ushering his children back into the corridor, heart pounding for reasons he could not name. The rest of the appointment passed in a blur, but the image stayed with him. That smile followed him home, lingered through the night, surfaced again in the early hours when exhaustion made sleep impossible. He told himself it was nothing, just a strange interruption in an already overwhelming day. Yet the next week, when he found himself back in the same hospital for an unrelated reason, his feet carried him down that hallway without conscious decision. He brought a small bag of toys, telling himself it was only to apologize properly. The woman was still there. Her condition had not improved. Her smile, however, remained unchanged, bright in a way that felt almost defiant. Over time, these visits became part of his routine. Sometimes the children came, their presence filling the room with energy that made nurses linger and other patients peek in with softened expressions. Sometimes he came alone, sitting quietly, feeling something inside him loosen for the first time since his wife's death. He learned, slowly, carefully, that the woman was dying. Not in a vague someday sense, but in a way that shaped every breath, every appointment, every unspoken goodbye. She had been given timelines that no one dared say aloud anymore, yet she spoke of life with an intensity that startled him. She listened to his struggles without pity, without trying to fix him, simply bearing witness. In her presence, he did not have to be strong. He could be honest about how terrified he was of failing his children, about how lonely nights felt endless, about how grief still ambushed him in grocery store aisles and quiet bedrooms. The children grew attached to her in ways that seemed instinctual, climbing onto her bed with permission, showing her drawings, leaning against her as if she were already part of their world. Watching them together scared him at first. He felt guilty for allowing even the idea of attachment to someone he might lose. But she never asked for promises, never pretended there was more time than there was. She lived in the present with a clarity that made every visit feel complete, whole, enough. Months passed, seasons shifted. The hospital room changed with decorations brought by children who believed hospitals were just another place adults lived sometimes. Against every expectation, her condition stabilized. Then it improved, slightly, cautiously in ways doctors described with careful optimism. He tried not to hope too much, but hope is stubborn when it has been starved. It crept back into him quietly, reshaping his days. Their connection deepened, not through grand gestures, but through shared silence, shared laughter, shared exhaustion. Love did not arrive like a lightning strike. It grew like a sunrise, almost unnoticed until suddenly everything was illuminated. He realized one day, watching her laugh with his children, that the fear he had been carrying had shifted. He was no longer afraid only of loss. He was afraid of not allowing himself to live. A year after that first chaotic chase down a hospital corridor, he stood beside her in a small ceremony that felt impossibly large. She was still fragile, still healing, but alive in a way that radiated strength. His children stood close, dressed too nicely and grinning too widely, as if they understood that their family had expanded not by replacement but by addition. He married her not because she had saved him, but because together they had chosen to face uncertainty with courage. Life did not become easy. Illness did not vanish. Parenting remained relentless. But something fundamental had changed. The home that once echoed with grief now held laughter layered with gratitude. He learned that love does not erase pain, it gives it meaning. He learned that broken beginnings can still lead to breathtaking endings. Most of all, he learned that sometimes the wrong door is the right one, and sometimes running after chaos leads you exactly where you are meant to be. Before this story ends, take a moment to comment below and share what this journey meant to you. Your words matter more than you know, and if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that hope can arrive in the most unexpected places, please like this video, share it, and stay with us by subscribing. Your engagement helps keep stories like this alive, reaching people who need to. Believe that even in the darkest rooms, light can still walk in.